past few years on this series, I've covered a fair share of video game commercials and ads from Nintendo, PlayStation, Xbox, and Sega, and hell, there might still be more in the future. But you may have noticed that all those ads are video ads, you know, ads that you watch. But there's a completely different type of ad that I've yet to cover. I feel like image ads don't get talked about as much. The video is titled print ads cause, spoiler alert, this list is mostly print ads, aka magazine ads, but it can also be billboard ads, pop-up ads that you see maybe on like a website. Pretty much any type of video game ad that is an image and not a video. And that brings me to the top 60 worst/craziest video game print ads. Now I have to give you guys a disclaimer. Despite this being a bunch of ads for video games, these can be disturbing, racist, sexual, sexist, and just outright uncomfortable. So, and this video might even get age restricted, so you've been warned. And lastly, I've done episodes on this series like this before, ranking box arts and names, you know, titles, but they were top 50. Why is this top 60? Well, that's just how deep this rabbit hole goes. So let's start digging. Kicking off the list at number 60 is this ad for Night Warriors, or Darkstalkers as it's better known. Ad? What ad? This ad is no ad, but if this ad is no ad, how come this ad places much lower on the list? Well, this ad being no ad is better than the other ads. Trust me. Number 59. Slightly less safe than playing chicken blindfolded on the M1 with your legs tied together whilst juggling live grenades with one hand tied behind your back as a rabid pitbull leaps at you. It's an ad for Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. Who wrote all that? At number 58 is the PS1, more powerful than God. What I love about this one is, if you look really closely, it says it's a quote from Edge magazine. This is a real review for the PS1. At number 57, Croc. Another failed video game mascot that I might cover down the line, and he's making a comeback recently, but this ad shows him murdering Mario, Crash, and Lara Croft. Are you even allowed to do that in your marketing? Number 56. Sophia says spend your money to reserve a Sony PlayStation. Sophia says give the money to your local video game store and do it now. Sophia says get on your knees and bark like a dog. Okay, this just took a turn. Now give Sophia a kiss. And you blew it. You had to make it sexual. Well, you know what they say. A man's gotta do what a man's gotta do. Aha! She didn't say Sophia says, now she has to hurt you. Damn it! Number 55, Death Trap Dungeon. Now obviously you want me to point out the obvious BDSM aesthetic that this ad gives off, but I'm not gonna do that. That's not why it's on the list. The reason it's on the list is the text. There's only one thing more torturous than playing Death Trap Dungeon. Not playing it. So are you telling me that playing Death Trap Dungeon is torture, therefore it's bad, but it's less torture than not playing it, so either way, I'm being tortured. I guess I'll just die. At number 54, it's this N64 ad. B1. What? A hot dog? Number 53, Game of War. Y'all remember this game? There was like a short period of time on the internet, you couldn't go on YouTube without getting an ad for this, or go on like a website and get an ad for this, especially
the Legend 27. Yeah, the Legend 27.
Who is the Legend 27?
That's not allowed to be on the list though. Call this cheating because it's not just one Game of War ad, it's the entire marketing campaign. These ads were annoying, they were frequent, and from what I know, they were misleading. They famously used actress and model Kate Upton to like almost be like the mascot of this game, but from my understanding, she's like barely even in the game. Sex sells! At number 52, Game Dealer. Not quite sure what Game Dealer is. You know, on here it says GameDealer.com, so I guess it's a website. Put that in Google and it directed me to GameStop, so do with that information what you will. But that's not like what I'm worried about at all. It's a little bizarre that we see Guts and Lara Croft both here. I don't know what they're both doing here, but again, not what I'm worried about. What I am worried about though is the text that reads, in real life, Guts and Lara would play with each other, not with you. What do you mean by that? At number 51, Super Mario Strikers. Why? Speaking of balls, Kicking off the top 50, we got Balls 3D. Balls out? Or how about this one that says, tell Santa you want balls for Christmas. Now I can assure you, for a fact, I do not want balls for Christmas, so don't give them to me. And number 49, if you're still playing Sega, NEC, or Nintendo, you're nothing but a weenie. If you're playing the incredibly high-powered Neo Geo system, you're a real hot dog. What? What's wrong with this? At number 48, we got our first magazine cover, and it's Lara Croft in a bikini on the PlayStation UK magazine. I mean, it's not necessarily like offensive or anything, but they straight up just put Lara Croft in a bikini and put that on the cover of a PlayStation UK magazine. You gotta love it. This is the worst / craziest. Not all these are bad, but they are crazy. Number 47, Virtua Fighter 4. I'm not quite sure what worries me more. What the dog doing, or the fact that the guy doesn't seem too bothered by it. At number 46, the second best thing to do in the dark. And what's the first? Oh! At number 45, Panic. Just gross. This is just disgusting. You know, like, I get it's a play on the Got Milk ad from the time, but they're just disgusting. At number 44, we got this ad for Crash Bandicoot on GameCube. And also GBA and Xbox and PS2, but it says GameCube, like, that's what the text says, so, yeah. What's so crazy about this ad, though? You know, just Crash coming to the consoles. Well, let me zoom out and see the full picture. Crash Bandicoot getting some pussy! Coming in at number 43, we got F-Zero X. Why? What's with the I? Stop! At number 42, Game Boy. More fun than a ferret down your trousers. I got many questions, but I'm not sure if I want to know the answer to any of them, so I won't ask. At number 41, Mommy, what are those two Sega machines doing? They're making an arcade system, dear. Sex! At number 40, Hannah was wasted. Last night she partied in 4 different time zones. So this is an ad for a UK game called V-Zones. You want to see a screenshot from that game? Get wasted just like Hannah! At number 39, we got Lara Croft looks better flat. Just why? I mean, if you and I are both thinking of the same definition of flat, she's clearly not flat. I also have no idea what this is an ad for. For everything else, I can kind of maybe have some idea. Not this one. I'm not even sure if it's real. Shouldn't even be on this list? I don't know. At number 38, World Heroes. Did you guys see the absurdity in this ad? In big letters at the top? It just says, life's a bitch. This ad just says bitch in it. That's amazing. I got nothing else to say. At number 37, Hitman Blood Money. Now maybe you want to call this one cheating, right? Because it's like a series of ads, but I'm throwing them all in here. Starts off not too bad with classically executed. This guy looks like he's on something, but it's not too bad. Coldly executed. A little unsettling. Beautifully executed. Sex sells! Shockingly executed. Let's move on! Alright. This next one is a little crazy. And I'm gonna stutter. I'm gonna stumble over my lines, but I don't give a shit because this is ridiculous. And number 36 is the Sega Saturn Ice Cube ad that reads, maybe you think you people are always coming up to us at Sega and asking, know who I am? Why are you so angry? Okay, no one's ever asked us that, but check it! Sega is new. How I see things. So if you think you know what it's like, or how I feel, it's not like that. It shares the same architecture as $20,000 arcade systems. Maybe if I write it, but Sega Saturn pumps the hottest arcade titles straight to your reflexes for a fraction of the cost. You're welcome. With a gameplay experience, get on the mic, that grabs you and pulls you in, it's no wonder the best games are, you'll understand, only on Sega Saturn. Like intense sports titles with everything but the jock itch. And this Christmas, exactly, Sega Saturn will have the most electrifying library of exclusive, WoW-like games on the planet. Games no one else has. So don't go thinking you know what I don't think so Sega Saturn is like before you've even experienced it. And never judge a package by its wrapper. Did Did I just have a stroke? At number 35 is this ad for Blood Rain 2. New deadly combo system. Dynamic pull and rail combat. And a couple of other features worth noting. I should have known that was coming. No, not like that. At number 34, Nanotech Warrior. So fast, eyelids are a liability. And I don't think this video can go on YouTube anymore. It was nice knowing you. At number 33, get some color on your cheeks. This is an ad for the Neo Geo Pocket Color, by the way. At number 32, Chuck's taken one too many plasma slices to the face, one too many cyber gashes to the groin. But all is not lost, because with his Killer Instinct cartridge, he got a Killer Cuts game music CD, and a free limited edition cap. As if KI's wicked ACM graphics and 9 brutal fighting machines weren't enough, actually it was for Chuck. Just ask him. On second thought, maybe not. Why? What happened to Chuck? I got nothing. What, you expect me to say something? No! At number 31, there are two kinds of gamers in this world. The ones who still play on consoles, and the ones who've actually seen breasts. Now this one feels targeted. At number 30, my stick is pure joy. And it's no extra charge. Buy the N64! Right now! At number 29, John Romero is about to make you his bitch. The classic game ad, the infamous one, the one for Daikatana. One of the biggest flops in gaming history. Fair to say, John Romero did not make anybody his bitch. At number 28, the Eagle Max. Not quite sure what the Eagle Max is, you know, seems like a peripheral, judging by the ad. Now I know what you're thinking, it's one of two things, both are pretty gross. But to prove that it's the more gross thing, the text says, drop the load.
What do you mean by that?
Now let's drop this topic and move on to the next one. At number 27, PS Vita. Touch on both sides. Well, if you insist. At number 26, all Wipeout ads. Wipeout is a pretty badass racing series on PlayStation, as many of you may know, but it had some insane ads. You'll see why I'm throwing all of them in one entry in a second. But first, we got this one. Why are the arms so veiny? But that's nothing compared to this. That's right, you wanna know what it's like taking hard drugs? Just play Wipeout! Or how about the ad for Wipeout XL? Now this one, you see the selling point is, you know, the other Wipeout games, you just piss yourself a little bit. This one, you piss yourself a lot. But the main reason I compiled all these into one entry is because for Wipeout 2097, Sony did that too. This is actually a compilation of all the Wipeout ads for the previous games. Amazing. Kicking off the top 25, finally. Baseball without the chili dog farts. I don't understand. And you know what? I don't want to. At number 24, Gallop Racer 2004. I feel violated. At number 23, Seaman. I feel like I shouldn't ask. I refrain from asking from a lot of the other entries, but I have to ask here. What's going on over there? Coming in at number 22, maybe if you didn't play with your worms so much, it can get distracting. Wait, so are you advertising Earthworm Jim as chick repellent? Oh shit, I like Earthworm Jim. Number 21, I don't mind if my boyfriend plays with himself later. What do you mean by that? Kicking off the top 20, God knows what it's about, but it sure is fun. What? At number 19, new Game Boy Pocket, seriously distracting. I don't see how being distracting has anything to do with like what takes up the rest of the ad, but yeah! Kidnapping! At number 18, the Sega Saturn Netlink. You know, you just want like to make a Netlink account for the Sega Saturn, just bomb Manhattan! Coming in at number 17, remember a few months ago when I covered Gex and I mentioned this?
I'm not in Kansas anymore.
Gex, buddy, any hope of you being anywhere near Kansas, I think you can just leave that with your virginity. I've seen the poster. Yeah, I don't know why I said poster. It was actually a magazine cover with advertising for Gex 3, so it's eligible for the list. What was I talking about, though? Oh yeah. It's tail time. At number 16, Microsoft Flight Simulator. So obviously this was before 9/11, but still. That didn't age well! Remember, as you buzz the 42nd floor of the Twin Towers and rudder into a power-off spin recovery above Times Square, safety is a pilot's first and foremost concern. Yeah, well, tell that to, you know. Kicking off the top 15, we got... Now, what does this have to do with Tekken? Come on, tell me. What does a bra have to do with Tekken? I also gotta wonder, you know, this ad is from Spain. So, how come the text on the bottom is in Spanish, but the text that says, round 2, fight, is in English? I got to know. At number 14, if these aren't the coolest graphics, my name isn't Yawiga Kanawi. At number 13, I remember when he couldn't keep his hands off of me. Well, lady, I hate to say it, but it looks like he's having a lot of fun with that Neo Geo. You don't even look like you want to have fun based on that face, you know, that you're making. There's a whole lot of other text that I'm not going to bother reading, except for this one part that reads, I'll show him, I'll play that Neo Geo and beat the pants off of him! And you know, maybe I just read a little too much. Coming at number 12, we got the tasty new colors for the Game Boy Pocket. Just look at all the new colors. You can buy a Game Boy Pocket, you know, represented by tongues of all things. Cause it's a video game ad, of course it's tongues. We got yellow, we got gray, red, black, green, transparent. I think you need to see a doctor for that. At number 11, hello ladies. Fancy a foursome? What?! This is an ad for Rayman! This is legitimately like the only ad today, maybe not, but who's keeping track really, that just straight up says, hey, let's fuck! Rayman 2 coming this March. Oh, and don't even get me started about what that shit is in his mouth, okay? If it's what I think it is, and this isn't even in the top 10, I don't think I'm ready for the top 10. But we're entering it, so brace for impact. At number 10, we got the many PS2 ads. Call this cheating, but it's not just one ad, but rather the whole marketing campaign for the PS2. It was pretty controversial because of ads like this, or this, or this, or this. But that's not all. How about this? This guy, hide your kids, hide your wives. But the worst, without question, is this. Are those PlayStation buttons with human skin, body sweat, and body hair? And is that guy back there walking in on this woman fucking the buttons? Don't worry, by the way, the PlayStation 2 only ended up becoming the best-selling console of all time. At number 9, Codebreaker. Sometimes you gotta cheat. So I'd assume Codebreaker, which this is an ad for, is like a cheating device, you know, kind of like Game Shark or Game Genie. And I get the comparison, cheating in a game like cheating on your significant other. But why does this place so high? Sex sells! At number 8, no arms, no legs, huge features. Don't you guys get it? Rayman might not have any legs. He might not have any arms. But one thing he does have is a massive cock. At number 7, when you've got Sega Saturn triple 32-bit processing power, nothing else matters. In case you didn't notice, there is a beautiful naked woman on this page. Oh, I noticed. At number 6, all black and white Sega ads. Okay, I promise, this is the last entry that's kind of cheating. I can't just pick one. During the Sega Genesis, Master System, and Game Gear era, Sega had these black and white ads that were fucking wild. I'm not gonna go over all of them. Maybe you can pause and read some of them yourself, like this one that straight up says fuck in it. Or this one that says, the more you play it, the harder it gets. Please stop! Or how about what's blue and pisses all over everything? I don't know, and I don't want to know. And if it's Sonic, well, newsflash, maybe tell me when he's actually blue. Or who can forget which pair will be the biggest on the beach this summer? Will it be this pair of tits? This pair of hairy nuts that had to be censored because, and I kid you not, the original version displays the hairy nuts for all to see? Or Sonic 1 and 2? Now how can it possibly get worse than that? Well, I'm afraid to tell you, it only goes downhill from here. Or uphill, depending on your perspective on the whole thing. Regardless though, it's top 5 time. At number 5, Battle Cruiser 3000 AD. At number 4, Davis Cup World Tour. What's my channel icon doing there? Well, that's to prevent this video from getting yeeted off of YouTube. Because the original version of this ad is this woman's bare ass cheeks. I am not joking, there's nothing covering that. This is like the most sex sells video game ad I've ever seen. Gotta be. At number 3, the PSP White. No, but what the fuck? Our one and only Billboard ad is a white woman choking out a black woman to promote the PSP White. Sony, there are like an infinite number of better ways to advertise the PSP White, and you chose the only bad option. At number 2, Sega 32X. Oh, look at that. Just a father and son, just playing some Virtua Fighter together, you know? Huh? So on to number 1. And you're probably wondering, what could possibly be worse or crazier than domestic violence, racism, bare ass cheeks, or just straight up porn? Well, how about number 1, Klonoa? You probably look at this and think, well, I mean, it's sexual, but like, it's not worse than the other ones we saw. I haven't read you the text yet. But Susan, I have Klonoa. Hey baby, I want Klonoa. Klonoa approves this message. Are you actually advertising Klonoa as an STD? Once you've got Klonoa, you won't want to get rid of it. So, from what I've gathered, it sounds like they're advertising Klonoa as the one STD you want and you want to keep. I really have no words. I have no words. How is this an ad for a game that's rated E? And you know the worst part is? Klonoa kind of does sound like the name of an STD. And I hate that. Well, that was the video. The top 60 worst/craziest video game print ads. Or just image ads. Whatever. It was crazy, but... Okay, who turned off the lights? Who's fucking with me?